Hi all, and welcome back. Today, I'm giving you everything you need to know about how Palworld has changed since launch. I hope it helps you decide if you should dive back in, or if you're that one person in the world who hasn't played yet, if now's the time to start. I'll keep it as short as possible to not waste your time, but yeah, there's a lot. Let's get into it. When Palworld launched in January 2024, it was great, but the game had serious stability issues. Crashes, infinite loading screens, broken saves. It felt like the world was held together with chewing gum. Many of those were fixed pretty fast, and by spring, the game actually ran reliably. You could finally log in, explore, and trust that your progress wouldn't just vanish, unlike your bank account after paying for your university degree. Anyway, one really useful fix was the Ring of Mercy. This item stops your own direct hits from dropping a pal's HP below 1. Perfect for catching lower-level pals without accidentally knocking them out. It only works for your hits or when you're riding a pal. Your unmounted pals can still accidentally finish them off, and things like burn or poison can still kill. It's not a full safety net, but it helps. They also made balance changes early on. Alpha and Lucky Pals got much stronger, and suddenly they were easier to breed, meaning the best creatures weren't locked behind grindy walls anymore. Boss fights got tuned to hit less like a truck, and they fixed one of the most annoying things. When you die in multiplayer, your dropped loot no longer disappears unfairly. Now you can actually recover what you lost instead of crying over your keyboard, or, in some cases, throwing it out the window. The first big step forward came in June 2024 with the Sakura Regima update. It added a whole new island with tougher enemies and a faction tower, and more importantly, crude oil farming. That unlocked a new tech tier. You could craft flamethrowers, laser rifles, missile launchers. Yeah, the survival game where you hug cute animals suddenly gave you missile launchers. This game still doesn't take itself too seriously, it just keeps giving you more weird, chaotic stuff to do. They also raised the level cap and added a PvP arena with leaderboards, finally giving competitive players something to chase. I've actually never tried PvP. Have you? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious if it's fun or just pure chaos. In December 2024, the Fayreak expansion pushed things even further. It added another massive island with over 20 new pals, a raid boss you can summon to attack your base, and the toughest tower boss so far. Trust me, don't summon that raid boss until your base is fully built with metal. I was very dumb. Maybe that's why I never finished my university degree. Let's move on. The bounty system also arrived, finally giving players structured tasks to hunt specific pals or complete objectives for rewards. That made exploration feel less random. Now there's always something to work toward. Fayreak also introduced the first crossover, the Terraria sword. Super random, but honestly, why not? So, the devs didn't just add new zones, they overhauled base building. Pillars now actually hold up structures, snapping and connecting walls and roofs became way smoother, and you can finally build glass windows to show off your pals instead of hiding them behind stone like there's some weird secret. Base limits were raised too, so you can build bigger or set up multiple bases across different islands. Private chest locks were added to protect your stuff in multiplayer, because yeah, the devs really thought people would just be nice, very naive. They also gave hosts more control to tweak base limits for better server performance. Building got easier with small but really welcome changes, like being able to slightly overlap objects, placing structures even if a pal is standing in the way, and snapping roof angles automatically. Sounds small, but if you built anything in the old system, you know it used to be painfully slow. The devs also added a lockpicking minigame, so now when you find locked treasure chests, you can crack them open without hunting for rare keys. And yeah, it's exactly the same minigame as in Skyrim. The pal skin system also arrived, finally letting you dress up your pals and customize their look at the pal dressing station. They even gave out sunglasses for Katiba to kick things off, because sometimes your pal just needs to look cool. Yes, I know I'm going pretty fast, but there's just a lot to cover, and I don't want to drag this out longer than it needs to be. Let's keep going. They also added cosmetic armor for your character, so now you can look however you want without sacrificing good stats. Pal breeding got deeper too, with new skills, passives, and even a rainbow rarity for rare passives, so building a perfect team has way more options now. And for those who love a challenge, they added hardcore modes where your character or your pals can permanently die. It's optional, but if you want to sweat a little, it's there. Personally, I never like these modes because I always feel like you die more because of the game's weird limitations than your own mistakes. But maybe I just suck. Have you tried it? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Pals themselves got a lot smarter. They now auto-target nearby enemies when summoned, they navigate tight spaces better, big pals can actually move through doors now. Finally, they learned how doors work. General pathing is much better. I still recommend building a base with plenty of open space, but your pals now actually have a chance to walk around and stay productive. Mounts don't randomly yeet you into the sky when you get stunned anymore, which is great unless you secretly liked being launched into orbit. I mean, who doesn't want to feel like a giant rocket sometimes? Worker pals now warp to their tasks if they get stuck, the game doesn't spam you with error messages anymore, wild pals no longer freeze up, enemies can't hit you through walls, and your pals actually follow you into caves properly now. These AI fixes really change the feel of the game. You spend less time babysitting and more time actually playing. Multiplayer got a huge upgrade. Full crossplay went live in March this year. You can now play with friends across PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. You can bring your best pals to any world using the new global pal box, and they added a giant dimensional storage for guilds and shared servers. Server stability improved, rubber banding got fixed, anti-cheat was strengthened, and Xbox got backup saves to protect your progress. These changes make multiplayer feel connected, stable, and just way more fun than it was at launch. Early this year, they also added some smaller but really fun updates. Random Pal mode lets you unlock a random pal each time you open your pal box. Honestly, it's kind of addictive. They also added pal presets, so you can quickly swap saved teams without rebuilding every time. The pal portrait and HP bars were redesigned too. Finally, you can track which pals are fighting without squinting like you're reading the fine print on your gym contract. Then came the biggest update so far, Tides of Terraria. This added Terraria-themed dungeons, 6 new Terraria weapons, 7 armor sets, and the Moonlord raid boss, which is a proper beast to take down. You can now fish across the world, catch new water-type pals, and even build your own fishing ponds. Honestly, if you ever wanted to chill with a fishing rod after blowing up an enemy base, now you can. They also added 3 new island types, Tropical, Iceberg, and Shipwreck, and the world just feels more alive now. Treasure maps, turbulence zones that launch you into the air, enemy faction bases you can raid for blueprints, it's a lot. They also added the pal trust system. Your pals now grow stronger the more time you spend with them. They're not just stats anymore, they actually feel like your buddies. The new mission system finally gives you structured quests on top of the bounty system. Although yeah, it's a bit weird that this system starts completely fresh on existing saves. The arena also got overhauled. There are now solo challenges, custom rule sets, ranking tickets, spectator mode, and a public pal box at the entrance. It actually feels like a proper competitive mode now, not just something you try once and forget. Okay. They raised the player level cap to 65, added new tech buildings like PAL surgery tables and large incubators, and gave PALs proper swimming animations. They also added new weapons like charge rifles and boost guns. And yeah, it's all already in the game. But there were some hard changes too. In late 2024, the devs removed PAL sphere throwing completely. Now PALs always spawn right next to you. It's gone because of Nintendo's lawsuit. In May this year, they also removed PAL gliding. You can't ride PALs to glide anymore. You now have to use a crafted glider, and PALs just give passive buffs to your glide. These changes hit hard. They really changed traversal and tactical options. Genuinely. But they were made to keep the game alive and avoid being shut down. The devs said they'll keep adding new ways to make traversal interesting to balance it out. Performance also got way better. Frame rates improved around big bases, save files got smaller and more stable, major crashes were fixed, and the UI got cleaned up with bulk crafting, full screen mode, a photo mode, larger text options, and aim reticle customization. The game just runs smoother now and feels faster and cleaner to navigate. Although, of course, as you've probably noticed by now, the moment you build a big base, yeah, it still hits your performance hard. Because what else is new? Looking ahead, the World Tree endgame scenario is still coming. It'll finally bring a proper story climax without cutting off the sandbox. More islands, more pals, more tech, more missions, and even more collaborations are planned after that. They're not slowing down anytime soon. So, right now, Palworld is more stable, deeper, and genuinely more fun than it was at launch. Some old features had to be removed, but pretty much every other part of the game has grown, and it's still growing. If this recap helped you, go ahead and drop a like or sub to support the channel. Thanks for watching.